Hello, everyone. My name is Jenny Burak, and I am an astrologer. I work with Archangel Metatron in bringing forward these messages related to astrology and other of the angels and ascended masters when it's time to do healings or they have something to say. And I'd like to say thank you and welcome to all of my new subscribers, and welcome back to the rest of you. And I hope that I appreciated the feedback with the meditation work that we did with Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene the other day. And I haven't had a chance to go through all of the comments, but I've read them. I just haven't had a chance to respond. So I appreciated all of the feedback that I had from you. And so today is July 24th. And we are going to talk about what's coming up for us in the next week and moving into August and coming up to the full moon in Aquarius that falls on the 15th of August. There's really so much packed in these next few weeks or so. So it's a new, fresh energy. The sun has moved into Leo, and we're going to have a pileup in Leo coming up here pretty soon. But so I wanted to talk about Metatron because of what's going on with Mars these days. And Mars is the will that we each have, the willpower, the will to move, that moves us forward. Okay, it's our drive, our ambition, but it can also be misused. It can be anger, frustration. It can be things where we just jump into things and we have a reaction that, is less than adult sometimes. Or, it can be war and battle and confrontation. And so what's happening right now with the planet Mars is that people are very testy. Testy, that's a good word. He just said testy. So really the way to deal with this is, like when I was out and about today, I was very smiley. I was very happy. And then he's saying to expect the best from everyone, because what we perceive is going to be the reaction to us, So, but again, we want to be careful with maybe things that have been unexpressed up to this point between you and someone else. Maybe sitting down and having a very calm conversation, nothing just off the cuff reactions, because you and I understand these energies. Not everyone else does, even though they're feeling it the same way that we are. They just don't know why. And this is when we want to express ourselves. He's saying calmly and clearly, and the emphasis being on calmly. So, because Mercury has yet to move forward as well, so there can be confusion. And also, if you do get any, emails or text messages, things like that, where you aren't hearing the tone of voice, we can assume that it was a negative tone. I wanted to bring that up right away. And he was also saying that in this astral weather that we're having, this could be the darkness that we're feeling. And, it's not an imaginary thing or anything, but that it's driven by fear. And it just perpetuates fear. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, is what he's saying too. Like, he added this in light of recent elections and events, world events, is what he's saying. There isn't really a country or a place in the world right now that's exempt from these energies, as the old guard begins to, will be falling. And we have a preview of that with the Saturn-Pluto South Node happening in Capricorn. It's like fighting to hang on. It's a fight to hold on to the stranglehold, is what he's saying. And so for all of us, he's recommending patience. And remember that everything happens in divine timings. And in divine timing, and whether or not we agree with who is in leadership, trust that there is a reason. He's saying a very good reason. And he's saying, let your heart just let the weight of that come off of you and any fear. I also wanted to bring up in relation to the post that I made about, I'm not even going to say his name, but about something that came out with somebody being prosecuted for sex crimes. And when I said, you know, no judgment, no hate, and somebody really like, I mean, it was ridiculous, the reaction. But when you judge someone, when we judge someone, that energy is coming right into your space. When you feel the need to call someone out or point out about, it doesn't matter who it is. Just because it's someone in leadership, doesn't exempt us from it coming back to us. So be mindful when what you're saying can come back almost as a curse on ourselves, okay? And so he's just wanted me to remind everyone of that, and to just, you know, allow yourself to be at peace that this is the situation and the circumstances that we're dealing with, not just worldwide, but in your lives, that it's all in divine timing and it's being handled according to the Creator's plan, is what he's saying, for the entire world, for us individually and for the entire world. And he's also saying now that this is a time of the old falling away, not just the old regime, but things that are no longer of serve a purpose or have like no place in our lives anymore. But he's saying that it will be things of consequence, like things that matter, okay? And just allow these things to unfold with grace and ease in your own energy, bringing in the energy of grace and ease. And you can always ask for help with that as well. Okay. He's doing, we have something new happening now where I'm spontaneously channeling. So, yeah, it's good that he doesn't tell me that kind of stuff is going to happen. So, okay. So for all of us in the United States, or yeah, I mean, if you're not in Europe, this is happening on July 31st. And it's going to happen at 11 minutes past the hour. So it will be 10:11 p.m. in Chicago. And it'll be 4:11 a.m. on August 1st for those of you in that's London time, so you can just adjust for your time zones. But when there are 2 new moons in a month, that's called a black moon. Okay? And he wants me to now speak to the phase of the dark of the moon. So the dark of the moon is 3 days preceding the new moon, okay? And that's a time when we're releasing the old, okay? Personally, collectively, it's a time of releasing. This isn't a time that, you know, something that you've planted sprouts. This is a time that we let things go. So it's a great time, you know, to do a healing session or body work, anything like that. Releasing old energy, old stagnant stuff that you no longer need. And the time of the new moon, oh, these are strong today. I think my eyes improved. So the time of the new moon, okay, when it's dark, when the moon is not seen, since the dawn of man, we've known that was when we plant a seed. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're implementing any new action or moving toward it, but he's saying a time to make up the wish list, okay? And so for my own personal ceremonies and then what I've done in groups of people as well, is to take a sheet of paper and write out on one side of the paper what you'd like to release and what patterns you'd like to move forward from. And on the other side of the paper is your wish list. Okay? And he's saying dream big. He's really, really focusing on, you know, being able to see yourself like if you could have whatever it is. Okay? You can't ask for a certain person, but you can ask for the right relationship. You can ask for a relationship that's in balance. And you can't, because we can't force our will on anyone else's free will, unfortunately. No, I'm just kidding. But But, you know, this is when you want to write down, like, what do you want to come to fruition? This new moon that's seated now, it is going to, like, you can't really say with astrology it'll fully come to fruition, but the seeds that we sow, that full moon in Leo, and that's the end of January 2021, okay? And these energies play out along the way. So think far into the future. What's your wish list? What do you want to see happen for you in your life, okay? And he's saying it isn't selfish to want something just for yourself, okay? Because when you're happy, it serves the greater good. So don't be afraid to write down what you'd like on that list, okay? But he's saying, like, pay attention to what he's reminding me of the saying, be careful what you wish for. So be careful how it is that you put that down, that you ask for those things, okay? So if let's say you'd like to travel to a certain place, then say, you know, something like, I would like the resources, or you could just ask for the trip. You don't have to list, I mean, you can list a specific amount of money, but I find just because different aspects of us don't relate to money that way, like money is paper kind of thing. So you could say the resources, or you could just ask for the actual thing. So, you know, make sure. And then what I do too is I have a burning bowl. I don't have it close by, but I have a burning bowl, and he's saying, but you could use incense even, and have a little ceremony. Or you could light the paper, like I fold it up into a small piece. I light the paper, and then he's reminding me that I also, in ceremonies that I've done with a group of people, I've planted a seed. So if you have any seeds, you know, planting it just as a show of faith, he's saying. And then just to trust that it will bloom at the appropriate time. And with the paper, once it's burned, is you can scatter the ashes on the ground and say, like, okay, universe, I'm ready when you're ready for these things to come to fruition, okay? And always say that your timing is in alignment with your soul's divine timing and with the divine timing of the earth, and that you're working in harmonious cooperation and relationship, you and the universe together, and through the frequency of pure love, okay, and light, okay? So, all right, yeah, he wanted me to cover new moon stuff. I've been hearing, I do listen to some tarot readers, and I listen to some of this stuff, and I love them, but I don't know, like, where they're getting that, and there's been a lot of misinformation about new moons lately, so I was like, I should probably clear that up. But yeah, then when you're working toward it, you can look at, like, when the first quarter square comes, like in the weeks to come, okay? And I mean, it's possible that things that you ask for, or that, you know, you'd like to manifest, that they come with the next full moon. There's not like a certain time. We don't really know ever about anything, about any event or anything else, right? We've learned that lesson. But yeah, just trust and believe that it will come when the time is ready. So this new moon it's in what's called a square with Uranus. If you look at the sun and moon there, thank you for the lighting changing. The sun and moon there together in Leo. This is happening at the 8th degree of Leo. And they are in the aspect of a square, and that's a 90-degree angle. It's an angle of tension. It's also the most powerful. Okay, so what that means when Uranus is in a relationship of a square with that is Uranus is sudden shifts and changes, the unexpected, something that comes out of the blue that you're just, I've spoken before, and now it's possible that you'll have this because you know, if you have dreams of tornadoes or any kind of vortex, that's typically, that's a Uranian energy, okay? Because Uranus governs Aquarius, which is air. And so I was always shown tornadoes, even as a 5-year-old, like 4 or 5 years old, and I had no idea what I was seeing. And now I'm like, oh, okay, now I get what that means. And I can go back and look at the transits of Uranus that were happening in my life when I was completely unconscious of it, or at least the conscious aspect of me was. So This is sudden shifts and changes, and it's what comes like out of the blue. One of the dreams that I had, it was literally a crystal clear blue sky, and out of nowhere came 7 giant tornadoes. And I called the person that I was walking with in that dream and told them, I think something's going to happen and we're not going to talk to each other anymore. And they said, oh, that's ridiculous. That's never going to happen. And sure enough, I mean, we did end up speaking again, but many years went by and I was a completely different person the next time that we connected. So that's very possible because Venus, who governs relationships and balance, is very close, like within 2-3 degrees of this event, this new moon event in Leo. So what that means, Venus wants balance. So and she holds the balance in relationship too. Okay, so if you have issues where you give more, you do more for others than they do for you, and it doesn't matter what relationship. It could be a romantic relationship. It could be you and your children, you and your boss. That's going to be shown in your Venus. Okay, so Uranus is in Venus's sign of Taurus, which relates to value, what we love and what we value, as well as her governing Libra, which has to do with balance and relationship. But Uranus in Taurus is answering to Venus, okay? So Mercury is in an opposition, not an exact opposition, but he's still in the energy of an opposition with Pluto, which governs worth. So if you're looking at Venus as money, Taurus, and so money, love, relationships, what we value, what's important to us. It can also be our own sense of self-worth, because Leo is about bringing the essence of you out to shine for everyone, and the gifts, the special gifts that you are and that you have to bring to the world. Okay, like Mary Magdalene said, all the world is a stage. So it's where you shine your light. Leo is at home in the sun, so this new moon is in his sign, and with Venus there and Uranus answering to Venus, and then Mercury opposing Pluto, this could bring up a lot of situations or issues with money, not just individually, but collectively as this energy plays out, okay? So that's important to note. And also Uranus governs abrupt endings as well. And so, and it being with Venus, and then this could be like the way where your resources come from. And I'm just going to cancel anyone that I felt like fear with that. Always we're asked to trust that we're provided for and to expect that those provisions are there for you. There is a lot of wealth and abundance in the entire world. It isn't shared. It's disproportionate right now, but we're trusting and believing that we are always provided for, okay? Because anytime that we have that fear come in that, we're going to lose the way we make resources, we're allowing that energy to have an effect, okay? So it could be anything with currency, because of Mercury being involved and Venus being money, but this is a lot, I think, to do more with relationships, because we keep seeing that playing out over and over again. Mars is in an interesting aspect. He's right with, I'm not going to show, but he's in Leo as well. And he is exactly with Juno, who relates to partnership and partners. He's intercepted in the second house. So another nod to partnership. This most likely is, I almost said something funny, but this is most likely relates to the divine masculine who are in relationships where there maybe is no love, and they're just like, I have to stay, I'm obligated because of the kids, or afraid to move on. And it's in a really interesting aspect called a quincunx. It's a very telling aspect of action with Neptune, which is retrograde. And Neptune relates to confusion, spirit. It can also be lies or mistruths. So this could be something of truth being uncovered. about a relationship, about a person. Remember, Mars is also the self. It isn't just the masculine. So that's interesting as well. A lot to do, once again, with relationships. But I wanted to read to you. I'll put the website again in the description box. And Leo, it's falling at Leo 8 and change, okay? Because it's always like the degree and then the minutes that follow. So we look to the next degree. So Leo 9. And the Omega symbol is a gigantic sleeping Buddha carved of stone. And it relates to interacting and being responsible. And it means listening to your soul and having discernment, okay? And with Neptune retrograde, I've been talking about the Neptune-Jupiter hijinks is what he's saying happening all year. That's a lot where we really need to use our discernment. You know, just because someone goes on YouTube and says this and this is going to happen or this and this is happening, and you can see very plainly with your eyes that that there are no facts to back that up. You know, really ask that you always that you filter all of the information through the Creator's highest truth. If we just say highest truth, sometimes we can have an aspect of us that believes that we have the highest truth, but we want to ask for the Creator's highest truth, okay? And that's when you listen to me or anybody. Okay, so this is where the new moon takes place, and it means you have a very great ability to just be yourself. And simple as this seems, it oddly enough can cause problems. For the question is, who are you, really? What seems so obvious can be quite unknowable, for what appears as your surface can only reflect the tiniest part of your essence. The truth is, your image is just an image, but one that everyone, including yourself, can learn much from, for it fosters greater self-awareness. I believe I'm going to say, because of Venus being here and what is happening with Mars, and in the zodiac, Mars opposes the sign of Venus in Libra, Aries and Libra. And a lot of that relates to, do you see yourself, or do you see who you've made yourself for your partners? For your family members, for your spouse, for your parents, for your colleagues. When was the last time that you really felt like you really knew yourself and you did something just for yourself? It isn't selfish to do that. I know like the lower vibration of Leo can be selfishness, but looking to our own energy and satisfying our own needs serves the collective, okay? It's the most effective way, Metatron is saying, to serve the collective, is to serve yourself first, because you are a part of the Creator. And when you smile and when you feel joy, that is lifting the vibration of everyone. He is reminding me of a lot of times they tell me to smile. And earlier today, I started smiling, and he played the song, "When You're Smiling, Yes, You're Smiling, the Whole World Smiles with You." Because when I started smiling, I saw him start to smiling. So then he started playing that song for me. So keep that in mind, you know, feeling joy in your heart and feeling happy about what's going on, regardless of what's happening other places. That builds up the vibration. If all of us are just getting wrapped up in the drama, he's saying the melodrama that's playing out in politics, or really, he's just saying in politics, that just drags it all down. You know, that's why I say turn it off. If it bothers you, especially, just shut it off, because you know, you don't want to be sending that into your own energy. And it's I'm not going to say that, but yeah, it can look depressing, is what he's saying, when we aren't taking the higher perspective. Yes, that's true. So the Chandra symbol for this degree is a solid gold egg. Here is an acute awareness of perfection, which by contrast also invokes an equally acute awareness of what is wrong and where the flaws and inadequacies lie. So that's where we can get caught up when we lack the confidence, he's saying, to shine. a lot of us, I mean, it's so common. I think I do it just about every session, healing session. The idea of perfection. It's a man-made idea. It's false. Okay. It's part of the illusion. The creator sees that everything is perfect and that you're perfect. It's like when people say, oh, I never should have married him. No, that was a soul agreement or you wouldn't have gotten married. Just let that go and start seeing and then you'll begin to understand, well, that wasn't a bad choice because it led to this and this. And if that hadn't happened, if I hadn't done that and run roughshod, is that the word, over that obstacle. And, you can say what, the consequences end up being for our highest good. Okay. No matter what it looks like is imperfect. This degree deeply senses what furthers evolution, like what we know that we need to do to move forward and what blocks us from doing that. Any tendency here, okay, I'm not reading that. So it's advised that we attune more to the eternal perfection that has always been within, that nourishes ourselves, our own growth, and the growth of others. Okay? So that's really exciting. So it's just like Mary Magdalene said in the video I made a few days ago, shine on, people. Shine on. It's time to, grab that bag of confidence that, you set down a long time ago and pick it up and put it to work for you. Okay? Because you're here to shine. Okay? That's why you came here. And then let's see. So yeah, at the time of the new moon as well, Venus will be at the same degree where Mercury and Mars met just before Mercury began to move retrograde. So that will bring up situations that were going on for you like July 7th, July 8th. And then moving forward in the week, this may not be in order, you guys, because I didn't know I was making a video today. So I started just writing notes. I got it all on one page. So I'll just ask please for patience as I decipher. So on the 7th, 8th, okay, Venus and the Sun will come together and they will trine, and that's a harmonious energy, Jupiter. So one way to differentiate trine is when they're all in the same element. So Leo's fire, Jupiter and Sagittarius is fire. So the Sun and Venus will trine Jupiter. That's a beautiful expression of go for it. And Jupiter, which is expansion, opportunities, blessings, higher wisdom, spiritual leadership, really opportunity, because the opportunity for expansion and growth, he covers all of that. And then the teacher, like the guru teacher, he will begin to, so when that's trining, that can be like a money that comes in. He is still going to be retrograde then, but I think that will be a really uplifting day for all of us. But then Metatron is saying that every day is what you make of it. But the 11th, again, is a huge day. So the 11th, Jupiter goes direct and begins to move forward. And he started moving back April 10th. So now we're going to revisit situations that we've had since the spring. And from July 25th, which is tomorrow, until August 29th, he is going to be sitting at the same degree. And so we're going to talk about that because that's the entire month of August. We're going to have that energy. Jupiter's a big boy and he's the biggest guy up there. So when he's stationed like that and he's sitting at 1 degree, it draws our attention there. So the Omega symbol is a man communicates in graceful sign language, and it refers to ritual and ceremony. And it talks about us using our words. It's like the sweet, when we talk sweetly, we receive that back, okay? And how we can enhance any exchange of information just by asking that, like I say every day, that I'm a vessel, tool, and a channel of the frequency of pure unconditional love, and that as it flows in to me, it flows out from me to everyone in my field. And it talks about dance, and it talks about aliveness and graceful information, transmitting graceful information. It also has an understanding of the unique needs of many different things. So appreciating the differences between all of us, like what makes us different. And it's tuned in to the unique and unusual and knows how to nurture special talents and abilities, Leo, that must be fed in a way that is different from most. It also speaks to a great acceptance of differences and respect for the experimental nature of evolution. As we watch ourselves evolve and each other evolve and the earth evolve, having an appreciation and an understanding that things have to fall in order for us to change and to grow, he's saying. Sorry, I'm gonna cough, so. Okay. My friend makes fun of me because she's like, you could just have a small cup, but no, you've got the giant. That's what I always use, so. And it's about cultivating what is unusual and unlike the norm to bring variety and interest to life, to have a new adventure. And also that we appreciate, and this speaks to actually where Neptune is still sitting at that degree. He's been there for a couple of months. It also speaks to everyone being your teacher. Everyone is your teacher, just like you're their teacher. You have soul agreements and things to fulfill, to learn lessons together. And a lot of times in relationship, the lessons are finished. When someone leaves the planet, it's because they've fulfilled the lessons that they're going to, or they maybe sometimes, but okay, he's saying just leave it there. So I'm going to just leave it there. But when it's time for, we learn and grow with different soulmates throughout our life. It's not like way in the way back, okay? But a lot of us still have that story ingrained in us since we were our own ancestors. So I don't like to always be putting it on the ancestors, but where you mate for life, and that's it. Doesn't matter how miserable you are. There's obligations there, most likely, and a lot of them are financial. For men, and this is just a tip for all of you who are married, a lot of times there are obligations that the woman is supported by the husband financially, and then the husband, vice versa, the husband has obligations to support them. And it can cause a lot of resentment in marriage. So I would just urge you, if you'd like to release that, you could just say yes, and Metatron will go ahead and take care of that, because that really is a huge issue, and it prevents people from moving forward into a happier and more fruitful relationship, is what he's saying. Most likely your spouse, if you're unhappy, most likely they're unhappy as well, and there could be a soulmate waiting for them too. Or there could be a step parent that's waiting to come in and help with the kids, that they have their own agreements with the children. So that, and what your family, and I'm seeing so many people that I'm talking to right now, but outside forces dictating to us what makes us happy and what we should do to find happiness. We're done with that. We're all moving on from that now. Okay. So, and then, so the 11th, Jupiter goes forward. He's going to stay at that degree until August 29th. And also on the 11th, Mercury, I forgot to mention, you guys, that the day of the new moon, that's when Mercury moves direct and starts moving forward. And on the 11th, he enters Leo. So from the 11th, and I'm just, okay, let's just do that first. So the 11th to the 18th, we have got Mercury, the Sun, Venus, and Mars, all in Leo. That's a lot of creative inspiration. That's amazing. That's great fire energy to begin to formulate the plan, because on the 18th, Mars goes into Virgo. And Mars in Virgo gets stuff done. Like that's when Mars in Virgo knows how to get things done, like all of the practical steps that need to be taken and how to fulfill everything that they've made commitments to themselves. Okay, I'm not talking about everything you've made commitments to everyone else, but whatever commitment, whatever you'd like to grow, he's saying that's the time that we'll seed that. So really use that week to, ask for divine inspiration, ideas, and a way to bring out your expression. A lot of people don't know exactly what it is that they want to do for themselves in this lifetime, what they have to bring that, is something where they can shine. And like Mary Magdalene says, there's room for everyone at the table. Everyone has something to share. Okay, so, and then the 18th, Mars will move into Virgo. On the 11th, also, Uranus begins to move retrograde. So it'll still be 6 planets in retrograde because now, or actually then we'll be at 5 because Jupiter, by that time, Jupiter and Mercury have moved forward. And then on the 15th, there will be a full moon in Aquarius. So there's other things to add as we go along when Metatron lets me know. I know at coming up, what am I saying? Yeah, coming up in the future, the not too distant future, I will be making a video called Metatron, the Expression of God. And so if you have any questions about him, I didn't get any questions the last time I asked, so I knew okay, not the right time. But if you do have any questions about Metatron, and he's saying nothing is too silly to ask because he realizes that there's a lot of information out there about him and not all accurate. So whatever questions, he's saying that he thinks that it's because he has a strange name. When I first was told his name by a psychic, first of all, it scared me because I never heard it before. And I was like, what is this entity named Metatron? And I asked her to spell it for me. She had a very thick Russian accent. She had literally just gotten to Southern California. And so he jokes with me about that. But anyway, you guys, it's brand new energy. It's fantastic. August is not going to be a month where we sit still. And a lot of people have been talking about that they feel like they need to do something. Move. Do something. Go for a walk. Get out in nature. Go for a swim at the indoor swimming pool, close by if you're in a climate where you can't swim right now. Do something active. We need to be moving because Mars is in fire. And so we become restless and our minds tend to go when we aren't implementing all of this fire in a healthy manner. So that's why I'm wearing red today. And it's Leo, so it's red and gold, people. So everyone, I hope that this was helpful. Anything that you need to know how to book an appointment, I'm really pretty open, honestly. I have a lot of openings is what I should say. So if you'd like to book an appointment, you can find that information in the description box. And we will have the next Congregation of the Emerald Fire meeting will be on August 4th. So I hope that we had a very small number last time. Just so happened it was the smallest number we ever had, 13, the number of the Divine Feminine. So obviously meant to happen that way. But so join us if you'd like. That's in the description box too. It's free. And any questions or comments you can send to my email. I know that I have not gotten to people who have emailed me recently, and I will. So please be patient with me. And anyway, guys, sending you so much love and blessings. And like someone said in the comment box after the Mary Magdalene video, shine on, you crazy diamond. All right, everybody, take care.